So let me introduce our final speaker for today. He is a writer, he is a book signer inside the activity studio just over there. He hails from Pinner, he's a broadcaster, and he is Professor of Children's Literature at Goldsmiths University of London. Please welcome patron of the William Heath Robinson Museum, Michael Rosen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Well, my very first thought is just simply to congratulate you. All of you, every single person who's been involved in bringing this museum about. I've been involved in various projects down through the years, and most of them die on the branch. Whether that's my fault, because I've been connected with it, I don't know. I should have perhaps warned you, Geoffrey. I should have. But it is simply wonderful that it has happened, and perhaps some of you aren't aware of just how difficult and amazing that is. Perhaps listening to the fact that this is one of is it the first museum since, when was it, I heard? In 40 years is some idea, because believe me, there are people all over the country who've tried. So my very first thought is congratulations, or in the language of my parents, to keep the diversity going, mazel tov. There you go. So perhaps one more applause for all the people involved. A fantastic congratulations. Wonderful, wonderful. My connection with this, as you heard, I was brought up in Pinner, 6A Love Lane. Do go to the shrine of 6A Love Lane. That's, in fact, just for 2 years, I was at 30A Bridge Street as well. I mean, life can't get more interesting than that, can it? And in actual fact, I walked past West House every morning to and from school, certainly junior school at any rate. My first school was Pinner Wood and then West Lodge. So I walked past this house to and fro every day, played cricket just over there up against the pine trees, the fir trees just over there. And on Tuesday nights, my mother did Scottish dancing in here, and my father had to cook for us. My mother said, make sure he doesn't cook you. And this is a Jewish dish called matzah brai, which you make with matzahs, the Passover bread, egg and fat of some kind or another. And Mum always said, don't let him cook you that because it's too greasy. So Mum will go out the door and my dad would say, OK, boys, let's have matzah brai. So he would then cook us. He had complained about the fact that it wasn't made with chicken fat. That may not sound too exciting to you, but there we are. That's the kind of thing that we talked about. And then we ate it. We cleaned it up. He said, don't tell your mother. Mother would come back from the Scottish dancing, as all Jewish mothers do. Came back from the Scottish dancing and said, what did your father cook you? And you remember, you've always learned, never lie to your mother. So we'd say, stuff? What sort of stuff? Egg stuff. We got away with it. Anyway, so there was my mother in there. And I have another connection with Heath Robinson, which those of you who've seen the little film that we made for BBC, I have a broken front tooth. And the reason why I have a broken front tooth is that we used to make Heath Robinson go-karts, me and my friend Brian Harrison, who lived on Barrow Point Lane. And we came down Moss Lane, and just where it turns into Moss Close, on our go-kart, it turned over and over and over. And basically, I crashed the go-kart because I was steering. Brian was much better than me. And I smashed my front tooth just outside Heath Robinson's house. I didn't know this until we came to make the film, whenever it was, about 10 years ago, that in actual fact, all that time that we talked about Heath Robinson, in actual fact, there we were, go-karting. And the other way was that my brother, who entertained me in our bedroom was a kind of theatre for my brother's benefit. He would put on shows. He read me the whole of the Professor Brainstorm books. And of course, these are beautifully and wonderfully illustrated by Heath Robinson. The number of times we looked at the burglar catching machine and nearly peeing ourselves with laughter, absolutely delighting and loving the Heath Robinson drawings. And we should say this, there's a way in this country that we demote people who draw like Heath Robinson, that somehow or other they're not like the great fine artists or great painters, and we tend to call them, we've got this other word, cartoonist or something like that. And this really overlooks something, is that Heath Robinson was someone who documented an era. When you look across his work, and I have to admit, I don't know all of it. I've got several books of it, and have obviously, as I say, the Brainstorm books. but he really did document an era. He showed how people were living. He showed the mentality of people by gently poking fun at it, sometimes more than gently, doing it quite savagely at times. He has a lovely mockery towards modernism, but at the same time enjoying it with the architecture and the way people lived. And when we look at that, for me, it's looking at my parents' era. I was born in 1946. For some of you, it'll be looking at your grandparents' era. And it's as powerful and as important at looking at a history book or reading a novel, or indeed looking at great paintings. But it's wonderful that there is a special place dedicated entirely to Heath Robinson's work. So I am over the moon for about 10 different reasons. Right, now before I open, I do have to award some prizes. This is this is for the Children's Illustration Competition. And I have to mention first the highly commendeds. In the 8 to 11 category, that's Stan Gilbody and Karishma. And in the 11 to 14, Libby Efthimu. And they're highly commended for their pictures. Now for your first prizes, we have in the 8 to 11 category, Amelia Phipson, and in the 11 to 14 category, Bella Davey, and in the 14 to 18 category, Catherine Cassidy, all with first prizes, all about to get some lovely books. Amelia Phipson, are you here, Amelia Phipson, to get a prize? No? Amelia, step forward. I had an Aunt Amelia, is it you? Great Aunt Amelia. Millie. Millie, are you there? No, not. Another time. Lovely, big round of applause. Next one is going to be Bella Davey. Bella Davey, are you here, Bella Davey, to collect your first prize? Bella Davey. There you go. Are you Bella or... Yes. All right, come in then a little bit closer for this kind gentleman. That's right. Here we are. Prizing. We're doing prizing things. Prizing. Lovely, very good. And then finally, in the 14 to 18 category then, Catherine Cassidy, are you here? Catherine Cassidy. All family members, they're allowed. Family members, first reserve, substitutes. Oh, wonderful. She's just started studying illustration at university. Where's that? Which?
Edinburgh.
In Edinburgh. That is wonderful. And you, Mum?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, look at that. What a connection with Heath Robinson. The tradition goes on, folks. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Lovely. And I have a huge debt I owe to illustrators. They make my books popular. So, now to the machine. Hooray!